Hello, Houston. Welcome to another Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim Mott, your host for today, and we have an awesome, fun show planned for you today. I know there's a lot of heavy stuff happening in the world, a lot of chaos, a lot of fear, a lot of anger, and that's, it's all valid. Whatever you're feeling right now, God is with you in that, whether it's positive or negative. But there's always something to look forward to, and I figured we could take just do a fun break from all that right now, just for an hour. Just sit with me. Let's listen, and we're going to have a musical show today. Now, it doesn't mean we're all going to sing through the whole thing and break out in song like you hear on Broadway. No, that's not going to happen.
Okay. Right.
No, we're going to be talking to some musicians later on in today's show, Catholic musicians, but they've all got fun stories, and they've all got great music to talk about and maybe share a little bit with you as well. But this is KSHJ, AM 1430, part of the Guadalupe Radio Network. Like I said, my name is Tim Mott. I'm also the general manager of this station, and I'm joined by David Magallanes, my assistant running the board today. David, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So great to be on Catholic Radio. Now, every week you say it's a great show.
It is a great show.
It always is a great show. And
not to toot my own horn or anything. But,
No. But listeners, thank you for listening and being a part of our show today. It's during your lunch.
One of our wonderful interns, Sam Cavana. Here I can say it either way, right?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wonder how Sam says his name. Cavana? Okay. Yeah. And anyways, I think I mentioned on the air before, there's been a long line of Cavanas that have interned here. It's a wonderful family, thanks to Francis and then John and now Sam. They just keep on coming through, and so we love interns. If you're a high school or college student, you want to get a little experience in Catholic radio, come on, we'll put you to work. We always have something to do. And so this also means that we, unlike most Mondays, are broadcasting on our social media platforms, all three of them, Diane, right? So if you want to go to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter and use the handle of GRN Online, we'd love to have you there with us. And we're going to monitor it and see if we always count how many people have liked our Facebook page. I want to see how many people will actually be watching us. I'd say if we got to like 20 or so, that would be pretty good. I don't know if you're monitoring that or not.
I'm looking at it.
It's like zero. Or,
I'm watching it.
Okay, well, there you go. We got one.
That's enough, right?
Just go to Facebook, go to Twitter or YouTube and check us out online. So, all right, another big exciting thing is we made the announcement, I guess, last week, 2 weeks ago, that we want to honor graduates on this program, local graduates who kind of got a little bit of a bum deal this year because they didn't get to have the full experience of closing out the year with their fellow students. They didn't, in most cases, have a real graduation ceremony. And so we took the advice. It was actually one of our other markets in D.C. that started this, and they put an ad on the air and said, we want to congratulate everybody on air, give you a little extra attention because you missed out on some things. And so we got some response, didn't we?
Yeah,
and
we did.
Sissel's going to give you some of the ones that have emailed and called in and told us about graduates. But I also want to open up the phone lines, because if you have a graduate, high school, I guess even grade school has graduations, right?
True.
But
Yeah,
primarily high school and college. Sissel being one of them. She got her college degree in film this year. And you want to just kind of give a shout out to that person. Tell us, hey, I want to congratulate, so-and-so, and maybe you can say a few words about that person and what an awesome person he or she is. Call us up. This is your opportunity, okay? 877-757-9424, 877-757-9424. We'll see if we've got anybody on the phone, and Sissel is going to tell us the ones that we have had emailed coming in as well. Let me give a little bit more information about the show, though. This is the second segment of the show. The second half hour is going to be where we focus on young Catholic professionals. And Peter Blute is the national vice president. Oftentimes it's Jen Baugh, who's the founder and the national president, executive director. Peter Blute's going to be on the phone with us, and he is going to be introducing us to his guest, who is Peter DeTrempe. And Peter is a national board director, on the National Board of Directors with the YCP, and he is a professional in marketing. And so he's going to be talking about marketing and also specifically in regard to our faith and, maybe Catholic businesses as well. And so that's going to be a good conversation. It'll be in the second half. So, again, if you want to join the conversation today, 877-757-9424, 877-757-9424. And one other thing before we get to the graduates is that tomorrow is a pretty special day.
It is.
Yeah, it seems like we just had the spring share-a-thon, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean,
It really does.
My
It
wife
really
said,
does.
"Didn't you just have a share-a-thon?" But the spring share-a-thon was towards the end of March. This one is, relatively early in June. But tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're going to begin the summer share-a-thon across Guadalupe Radio Network. And the spring share-a-thon fell about 30% short of what we really needed as far as the goals. And yeah, the spring one came right as, we were in a couple of weeks into the COVID, crisis. And so people didn't quite know what was going on. I've had a couple more months to kind of digest what's going on. Who knows? I mean, how it's going to go. But I know that as far as, matching gifts go, as far as, calling people and saying, can you support the station? The support has just been tremendous. The number of people the volunteers who are going to come into the studio, I sent out one email and within 2 hours, I had every volunteer, every meal that we needed.
Awesome.
So I know there's a great, interest in helping out. And so I just invite you, please help out, Catholic Radio, because we really need this share-a-thon to be successful. I'm guessing by the fall, things are going to start feeling a little bit normal. Things still feel a little bit weird.
Yeah,
don't
definitely.
they? Would you say?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you go out and, it has a different vibe in the world right now.
Yeah, it definitely does. I've had a very hard time getting used to the face masks, and I don't have to wear them all that often because the grocery stores where I live don't require them. Our parish doesn't require them, but I have put them on a few times. And so we hope you see the value in Catholic Radio, and we hope you will support. But again, that's going to begin tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Summer Share-a-thon. The theme, we liked it so much in the spring, we're going to do it again this year. It's celebrating 20 years of Catholic Radio on the Guadalupe Radio Network. And so, and you know what? One of the unique things about this Share-a-thon is we always give away an angel-level gift.
Yeah.
That's for anybody that gives at least $10 a month. I think what we're doing this week is anybody who gives any donation of any size, I believe, I should know this, gets the story of the Guadalupe Radio Network,
do
right?
they? Awesome.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so, yeah.
But
Don't quote
then the
you on
angel
that.
level donor, I mean, you know what the CD is?
Is it? Wait, that's the music CD? The one?
No, it's Joe McClain.
No, it's Joe McClain's talk.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's
That's
called
so
Zeal,
exciting.
Zeal for Souls.
Yeah.
And Joe, Joe's a speaker. He gets out, and and of course nobody's running around doing talks these days. But he's really a very good speaker, and so it's going to be his. We've never done an in-house
Right?
thing.
That's so
And
cool.
do you know what they want to do for the fall? They want me to do a talk. Did you know that?
Uh-oh. No,
No,
Wow.
Seriously.
wow. You better find a place to go give a talk at.
I know. It's like, because I don't have a talk recorded, but I could just stand in here in the studio and do a talk.
We'll sit there and clap really loudly to make sure it's like
it might be
big crowd.
It might be good to do that because
That'd
when
be
you're giving a
fun.
talk, you want to have some kind of somebody.
Right.
As long as you're
we
like
could
not
have a private screening, like a private, a little party here, just
like
a select few people.
maybe a Zoom talk, maybe
Oh, that
people,
could also
or
work,
just
too.
have a little crowd of 5 or 10 people.
That'd be so fun. Okay, wow, we're making plans on air. This is great.
Yeah, right. Okay, so and also I want to mention, I mentioned about the great response we got for matching gifts, and just people there's been an outpouring of support, and one of our matching gifts that we're going to be providing this week is from a wonderful lady. I guess I can use her name, Laura, and she wanted us to promote a website called everydaysermons.com. I don't know if Diane's providing a link for it or not, but everydaysermons.com are sermons that a Deacon Michael
San Jacinto College and major in project management. His confirmation saint is Saint Olga. Family attends St. Hyacinth and St. Mary's in LaPorte. So for Joseph and Ian, we want to congratulate you. And now I'd like to say a little prayer for you and all the graduates here that are listening. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gifts of these graduates. As they step forward into the world that awaits, comfort their fears with full knowledge of your divine presence. Strengthen their resolve to walk in the footsteps of Jesus as modern-day disciples in a world that needs their spirit. Guide their feet as they move through life, protecting them from the pitfalls of darkness while they help to lead future generations into the warmth and promise of your light. We ask this blessing upon each of them in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen, and congratulations to you and to the parents.
Yes, congratulations as you take the next step in your journey on your vocation, whatever that may be, whether to the priesthood, religious life, or marriage, or singleness, or whatever God is calling you to. Thank you so much, and please be faithful to that as you go forward. Well, I'm looking forward to the Share-a-thon this week, just like you said earlier, David. The Share-a-thon is 1 out of 4 times a year that we come on the air and we just ask for, we actually give the listeners the opportunity to be a part of what God is doing through this radio apostolate. Guadalupe Radio Network, it's 37 stations, touching about 10 different states in different ways. And we do this only 4 times a year because it's, that's really almost all of our budget comes from the Share-a-thon. It's all listener supported. We don't make money commercially. It's all donations. We're 501c3, and this Share-a-thon is very important. I was very blessed by our spring Share-a-thon, with the kind of support that we got, the kind of positive outpouring that our listeners gave us through the phones and through their donations and through their prayers, because so much was up in the air with COVID-19 and the pandemic and the economic chaos that's happening around that, and the oil prices being down. But our listeners really came through. Now, summer has always been hard because a lot of people going on vacation may not be listening to the radio as much. So summer's been one of those hard times to get through. But I think that because we are pulling together so much as an audience and a family right now as a church, I think they're going to come through this time.
I agree. I think our family is growing, and we can see that too. Just with people calling us and everybody going on to Facebook and being added to our Facebook page. And so, listeners, we really thank you for being a part of our family. I'm anxious. I'm excited. I think, like you said, Tim, from spring Share-a-thon to the summer Share-a-thon, I think we're going to carry that same energy, and I'm anxious to see how things go this week for us. The other thing to add is that we have some volunteers coming in tomorrow.
That is what I am looking forward to. So the Share-a-thon is 4 days. It goes from Tuesday to Friday. So starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., that's when you have your opportunity to be part of this ministry. But we pass the call center duties around the whole network. So on Tuesday, Houston hosts the call center. And in the spring, well, with the COVID and everything, we did not have any volunteers. Normally, it's a big party. We have a lot of people come in, a lot of food. We have hangout time, and it just tons of fellowship and positivity. It was really different to do it without the volunteers, but we're bringing them back. We're bringing back the volunteers tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Don't email David. We've already filled up the schedule. Or wait. I guess I should ask, do we have any holes in the schedule, David?
We do not. So I emailed all our volunteers. Everybody's A-okay with that. And I'm kind of proud of the way we designed our conference room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you put a lot of work into that, separating the phones and putting the barriers up between them and everything. It's little DIY social distancing there. I love that. Actually, I heard a priest from the Institute of Catholic Culture who said we shouldn't call it social distancing because that is not what humans are called to.
Right.
We can call it physical distancing if we need to.
Physical
distancing, but not social distancing. We are social creatures, and we are designed by God to be together.
Downtown with the pro-life march, we are in the street,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And we have to be.
It's a big organization.
Yeah, and so it looked like they had permission. They were being peaceful, so no problem. But my first reaction is like, oh, gosh, what a pain. Are they going to turn my car over or set? But again, you zoom in, you see faces,
Right.
you see people. I think a lot of these people are, hurting. Well, of course they are hurting. They wouldn't be protesting if they weren't.
Absolutely.
But anyways, obviously, absolutely no right to be violent. But in this particular case, they weren't They were not being violent.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, the Vigano's letter goes on. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. If anybody has any comments on it, you can give us a call and let us know. Or just, how are you doing? How are you responding to all that's going on? This last week and a half has just been absolutely crazy. 877-757 9424, 877-757-9424. And all right, so now with no further ado, I'm not going to say anything else. We can go straight to Sissel and tell us who our hallowed graduates are.
All right, all right. Okay, so we got quite a few emails, which I was very excited about, and a few messages. And actually, some people just commented on Facebook, too, so I have a few more to add to our list. So first off, I would like to say congratulations to Hideo. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce your name. I looked it up. Class of 2020, giving thanks to God for having you in our life. You are truly a true blessing. Love you so much, Mom and Dad. So congratulations to Hideo. I'm assuming he's a high school graduate. And then I have a message from Julie Sluter, who is actually, they're one of our sponsors of our station, Todd. And she says, Todd and I were thrilled to watch our son, Justin Sluter, graduate cum laude on June 2nd from Plano Senior High School. So congratulations to Justin. And then we have someone named Willem Anderson.
You know him?
I might know him. He goes, Willem Anderson's family is so proud of his graduation from their school, Anderson Classical Academy, a.k.a. who was homeschooled, and excited to start his for his starting University of Dallas in the fall. And then we have Katie Mann from Marcus High School. Congratulations, Katie. We're so proud of you. You are such a beautiful young lady and work so hard, and we're excited to see where God takes you in life. And then we have one that we just got on Facebook.
Just now?
Just now, yeah.
Oh, really?
Juan Jose, oh dear. Jimenez, I'm going to say.
Jimenez?
Jimenez.
Okay.
Jimenez. So graduated from high school and his associate's degree from Richland College. That's so cool. So he got his associates and he graduated from high school at the same time. Super cool. Congratulations to him. He's going to be attending to Conrad Collegiate Academy in Dallas. That's very cool.
All
so
right.
thanks for that message. And then we also have Rafael Cavana, who graduated from the University of Dallas with a bachelor's degree in psychology, and John Cavana.
The Cavana guy that didn't intern at our station. Yeah, that's all right.
That's
No hard feelings. No hard feelings.
So we have Rafael, and then we also have John Cavana, who also graduated from the University of Dallas with a bachelor's in history. And then finally, we have James Loney, who graduated from STEM in Louisville.
And that would be Kent's son. Okay,
definitely. So that was a pretty good list, I think, Dave.
And the Jimenez one, well, that was just totally
came on our Facebook,
okay,
Live. By the way, we have 6 people watching, Dave, so I think we're practically famous.
Oh, wow. Okay, very good. So anyways, thanks so much for this. I love doing the Facebook Live thing. We're also on Twitter. We're also on YouTube. Get to see behind the scenes what's going on and all that. All right, a few other things. Speaking of Facebook, we have been pushing this so hard the last couple of months, trying to get more people on the local Facebook page. This is a great way for you to not only find out what's going on, but also post your own events.
Yes.
And I'm guessing, do you have an idea, Sissel, of how many posts we're getting a day from, not from you and I, but just from the
I get more of a week. I think we usually get 2 or 3 a week from someone else for sure. Like just this last weekend, we had several. One was posted from St. Vincent de Paul of Frisco. We're letting everyone know about where you could drop off items you no longer want. And so that's a pretty cool thing to know, because actually we were cleaning out our garage on the weekend, so that was very helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and if you want to, I think we have about 305 or so now.
303, yeah.
303. And the goal by the end of this program is going to get to 310. Yeah,
let's go to 310.
Okay. 310. Just go to facebook.com and then just ask for permission to join the local DFW, North Texas, however it's called.
GRN DFW
Facebook page. And then Sissel will speedily let you in and you will be all set. All right. It's 19 minutes after the hour. You can call us if you have any comments about anything that's going on. 877-757-9424. 877-757-9424. 2 other things that I want to talk about. First of all is the Summer Speaker Series event. That is going to be July 23rd. It's going to be at the Frontiers of Flight Museum. Tickets are going on sale next Monday. Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
So we have had committee meeting after committee meeting after committee meeting, and we keep asking these same questions about how ready are people to go out and to go to an event like this, and I'd love to, and I talk to people in private conversations, but I'd love to know, are you just ready to go? Or are you eager to get out and do an event? I mean, this is still 6 weeks from now. Are you still scared? I heard conflicting reports. Some people say, hey, even though my parish is open on the weekends, like in Fort Worth, people aren't coming. Our parish is overflowing in St. Mary the Virgin in Arlington. I ushered yesterday, and it was packed. And we had to fill up the narthex as well. So I don't know. Are you still scared? Dear listener, or are you ready to get out? Do you think by July 23rd you'd want to go to the Frontiers of Flight Museum? We're going to have. I visited the museum this morning. It looks like we're going to be able to have 300 people.
Oh, great.
That can go in there. It's going to be socially distanced, and I don't know if face masks are going to be necessary or not. Probably so. But that's still a pretty big crowd.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the biggest crowd that, besides outside of Mass, that you've had in a while.
Yeah. So if you want to tell us, are you going to come? We're going to have a live stream option as well. Would you rather watch the live stream? And we got some interesting things. I'll tell you some of the things that are planned for this. Okay, we have been talking to DeVivo Brothers Pizza,
so
and they've got the big fire truck.
So exciting. Nothing's
Nothing's official yet, but John DeVivo, the owner of DeVivo Brothers, one of the owners, is very likely going to be driving his big old fire truck over to the Frontiers of Flight Museum, and he has the fire truck has been converted into basically like a pizzeria where he can cook pizzas. It gets up to 800 degrees. He can cook a pizza in 2 minutes. And so as you come into the event, you'll be getting a slice of pizza or all the pizza you want. And then you come in and we'll be serving wine inside. And so there won't be any food service inside. You just get it as you come in. That's the plan.
That's awesome. Wine and pizza. What could be better?
Yeah, Pope and Pizza. Did you not hear that's going to be the name of it? Pope and Pizza?
Pope and Pizza. We're changing the name. Got it. Okay.
It's going to be Pope and Pizza. Yeah.
Perfect.
So you got to totally rebrand the whole thing.
Forget the Summer Speaker Series.
All right. So if you want to let us know if you're coming or not, 877-757-9424. We're going to know next Monday when tickets go on sale. We can get 300 real quickly, or are we going to just, a lot of people say, no, I don't think so. I'll just watch the stream, but we'll find out. The guest speaker will be Monsignor Charles Pope, and I would love for him to talk on the topic of fear. I would love for his topic to be not afraid, because I think so many people are so afraid right now. Myself included. I mean, there's a lot of things that are kind of terrifying when you watch the news these days. So we don't know yet exactly what he's going to talk about, but the plan is for Monsignor Charles Pope to be the speaker for the Summer Speaker Series event, and we hope you're going to be there. And if not, I don't know if I can give the other plan. If you watch it, okay, I'll just go ahead and tell you what we're talking about. If you watch the stream, we are going to work out a way that you get a pizza. Okay.
I'm not coming, Dave. I'm just gonna stay home. No,
yeah, it's all being negotiated right now. This is the plan.
Awesome.
Okay, that's why Pope and Pizza that you're gonna get a pizza at your home while you're watching the stream. Okay, but the stream's not gonna be free. You're gonna pay to get the stream. We're not just gonna send you a pizza.
That'd be a lot of pizzas we'd be sending.
Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to mention is I talk about how do we get through times like this. One of the things that I have found very helpful is turning to the saints, and especially turning to the saints who experienced similar times like we are. Now, I'm not ready to compare the time we're going through to the 1920s in Mexico, but there are some things, and I hope it doesn't get this bad, because the 1920s in Mexico were horrendous. I mean, that's the whole Cristero War and the persecution of the church, and the sacraments were not allowed. Priests had to go underground. But there was one priest named Blessed Miguel Pro. He was a priest. They call him a master of disguise. He's a martyr. And he died in 1927. And I yesterday changed my Facebook profile picture. I don't know if you noticed that. To Blessed Miguel Pro, because I think we need somebody like this, because what he did was he was living in a very oppressive time, and he kept his joy. Everybody that knew him said he was always very joyful. He was a Jesuit priest, and he ended up being arrested because they charged him with trying to have a plot against the government, which was by most people say was not true. And then they put him before a firing squad to die. And interestingly, they typically cover your eyes when you get put like a face mask on. He said he didn't want it. He said, I don't need it. He asked. Well, I don't think he asked, but he blessed the men who were. You can see the pictures. I mean, this is all in pictures. he blessed and forgave in advance the people who were preparing to kill him. And then he said, my only request is may I kneel down and pray. And so he knelt down, and there's pictures of this as well, and he prayed. And then he got himself in a cruciform position, put his arms out, and he had a rosary in his hand. And then he got shot to death and he died. And he would, by the very definition of being a martyr for the faith, he would get his eternal reward, because martyrs are always going to go to heaven. And so that's how I have been dealing with some of this. As I look to the saints, I look to people who were bold in the face of persecution. I think obviously it's a stretch to say that this is like 1920s Mexico, but I think there is some persecution, and it may get worse. I hope it doesn't. But if you have any thoughts on that, or if you want to let us know how are you getting by during times like this, we'd love to hear from you. Phone number 877-757-9424, 877-757-9424. Just a few minutes here before we take our break, and then we're going to be joining Peter Blute and also his guest, Peter DeTremp, as we talk about the young Catholic professionals, also from a marketing standpoint, okay, because Peter DeTremp is a marketing expert. All right, anything else that we want to say about tomorrow, the Share-a-thon this week? Why should people support Catholic radio? Well, what's your elevator speech?
Thanks, Dave.
Put you on the spot.
Well, honestly, I would say that this year, 2020, has proved more than ever why we need Catholic radio. I mean, we've had churches that have been closed. We have not been able to attend our usual Bible studies. We haven't been able to gather in community and pray together. And Catholic radio can be that unifying thing that everyone can listen to, and you can be still part of your greater Catholic community, and you can still be studying deeper into your faith by listening, and you can listen to the Mass in the morning. So honestly, I think that this year has just proved how much we need Catholic radio to continue.
Yeah, and there seems to just be something is really amiss in the culture, and there are so many people have gone. I mean, we're all sinners, but there's some people who just fundamentally have just do not have any sense of morality. And there's this rise in socialism, and communism, which is antithetical to Christianity. And there's so much catechesis that needs to be done, and we need to teach parents so they can teach their kids. I think what we're seeing in this just absolute, the culture is being turned upside down. I think you can go back to the 60s, go back to the 70s, where just the faith was not taught in homes, and people just do not know God. There's a lawlessness, there's a lack of understanding of God, a lack of belief in God, a rise in atheism. And that's why we have to have Catholic radio. We have to have this out there, and you got to take it in, you got to learn it, and you got to spread it. You got to be able to talk to others about it. Paul and I last night went over to some neighbors' house, a married couple. They are Protestants, and we just sat and we talked about faith. We talked about culture. She's actually from Germany. She is old enough to have lived at the time of Hitler.
Whoa.
And I think we just need to talk, and we need to have dialogue, and we need to get to know each other, even people that we don't agree with.
Oh, 100%. I think you always have to keep yourself open to talking to other people, because otherwise you're very much closing yourself off, and there's no growing in that. And so, yeah, definitely. And the problem is today it's so polarized, having it, you can immediately well, I don't want to listen to your opinion. You can't even just sit down and have a nice discussion. Yeah, I would love to just take one of those protests, and if I take one of those protesters out and just sit down and say, what are you doing? What is what is your goal? What is your objective? What is going on? And just try to just open up some dialogue with these folks. All right. This is the Good News Show here on KTH 910 AM, and the highlights are please plan on coming to our Summer Speaker Series event on July 23rd. Tickets are going to go on sale on Monday. Please support the Share-a-thon, which begins tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. We always like if there's a North Texas person calling in first. That'd be awesome.
Okay, we love all the other markets, but if North Texas calls in first, that's great. And then what else? Join the GRN DFW Facebook page, and continue to let us know about graduates. If you have a graduate in your house who had kind of an unusual, close out to his or her final year of high school or college, and didn't get that big ceremony, we want to at least congratulate them on the air. So you can continue to email kath@grnonline.com. Is that the best thing to do?
That'd be great.
Okay. All right. So anyways, thanks for joining us. And we are going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with Peter Blute from the Young Catholic Professionals with his guest, Peter DeTremp, talking about Catholicism, young person evangelization, and marketing. So that's coming up right after this. The Guadalupe Radio Network appreciates the support of Vetro Glassblowing Studio and Gallery located on historic Main Street in Grapevine for their support of local Catholic radio on KATH 910 AM. They offer crafted glass art ranging from handmade sculptures to small glass art gifts. They're currently open for curbside glass service Tuesday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They can be reached by calling 817-251-1668 and online at grapevineglassblowers.com.
Hello, my name is Maury Buford, owner of Buford Roofing and Construction and a former player with the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears. My wife and I are members of St. Francis of Assisi Parish in Grapevine and longtime supporters of the Guadalupe Radio Network. Buford Roofing provides residential and commercial roofing repairs and total replacements. We can be reached at 817-329-ROOF or online at bufordroofing.com. Have a wonderful day.
The KATH 910 AM 2020 Summer Speaker Series event is on Thursday, July 23rd, with guest speaker Monsignor Charles Pope.
There's just something about gratitude as a doorway to immense change in our life. I think that's why we call it the Holy Eucharist, the Holy Thanksgiving. The Lord says, never forget what I've done for you. Always have present to your mind and your heart what I've done for you so that you are grateful and that you're different.
Tickets go on sale June 15th at grnonline.com.
Is your facility in need of additional meeting or classroom space, but there's no room in the budget to add on to the building? I'm Glenn Trahan, owner of Modern Fold Door and Specialties and proud sponsor of KATH 910 AM. Modern Fold Door and Specialties can solve your space division problems by installing operable walls to create additional spaces. We also provide repair and service. You can contact us at 214-357-2572 for a free consultation or trwfamily.com. God bless.
Are you connected? Hi, Joe McLean here, the Director of Mission Development for the GRN, and I am super excited about 2020. It's our 20-year anniversary, and we are rolling out new digital tools to include a new website, a podcast catalog, upgrades to our mobile app, and more. A great way for you to stay up to date and connected is by joining the GRN text list. You can do that today for free at grnonline.com/text.
Hello, my name is Brad Grimes with the Grimes Insurance Group, and I'm a proud sponsor of 910 AM. My wife and I are parishioners of St. Francis of Assisi in Frisco with our 4 sons. I would like you to consider Grimes Insurance Group for your personal insurance needs. We are an independent agency working with multiple carriers. I invite you to call today for a no-obligation review of your insurance needs. We can be reached at 214-494-8800. That's 214-494-8800. Thank you.
All right, we're back. This is a Good News Show. Thanks for joining us. The phone number, 877-757-9424. Maybe you're a young person in your 20s and 30s, and you want to just grow in your Catholic faith. You want to meet others. You want to be able to have fellowship and, business connections or just make friends or what have you. A wonderful group called Young Catholic Professionals. If you go to their website, youngcatholicprofessionals.org, you can see that they are on a mission to challenge, train, and inspire young adults working in various professionals to work and witness for Christ. They bring together young adults and seasoned business professionals in a variety of events to foster Catholic identity, encourage community, and inspire action. And delighted to have on the line with me Peter Blute, who is the National Vice President of the Young Catholic Professionals. Again, put a .org at the end of that, and you will find their website. And now Peter has a guest who is joining us as well, another Peter. So isn't this like so Catholic to have 2 Peters on with us? Peter DeTremp is on the Young Catholic Professional National Board of Directors, and he is a senior marketing executive who has many years of experience on both the client and agency side. And so we're going to see if we can get through the confusion of having 2 Peters on with us. Peter Blute, we'll call you Peter B. How's that? Thanks for being with us today.
That sounds great, Dave. It's good to be back here with you.
Yeah, and I love the name Peter. Obviously, it's going to make us think of our first pope, and it's the rock that which the church has been built on. So it's good. You can't have enough Peters on with us. All right, and Peter de Tremp. I first of all, just make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Welcome to the program, Peter.
Thank you, Dave. And yes, that's perfect pronunciation, Deep Trump.
All right, very good. Well, Peter Blute, why don't you go ahead and let us know if there's any updates about the Young Catholic Professionals or anything, just generally speaking, before we dig into Peter D. and our topic of marketing today.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Yes, it's such an interesting time for all of us, right? Like most organizations and most of the world, YCP has had to go virtual in a certain sense. And so, there's a number of ways you can connect with us in this virtual world as things start to open up here again in North Texas. But we've actually just launched a new website. You can still find us at youngcatholicprofessionals.org, but we've really simplified the experience and really worked to ensure that when people hit our website, they can find out what events are going on across our entire YCP network, and also learn more about how they can get involved in a number of different ways, either at the chapter level or with our staff at the national level. So one area that's really exciting is that we have a calendar on there now that features of any virtual events that our chapters are hosting. So even though it is disappointing we can't host in-person events, which really are kind of the hallmark of the YCP experience, is that connection coming together in person. You can now access events in any city through Zoom or through whatever virtual means they're offering. So maybe it's our executive speaker series in another city, or a panel discussion, or other kind of different style events that they're working on in this virtual world. So that's the thing people can do immediately if they're looking for some content and maybe still at home and wishing they could come to a YCP event.
Now, is that a different website altogether, or is it on that same .org site, Peter?
Same .org site.
Okay.
Yeah, we just redesigned it all from the ground up. So
Okay.
a bit of a refresh.
Yeah. Do you all know yet when you expect in-person events may come back, or is it too early to tell?
I think it's still too early to tell. Dave, now that we have about 22 different YCP cities, and so those range from smaller cities that weren't as highly impacted by COVID-19 to cities like Los Angeles and many of these other major metropolitan areas that were dramatically affected. So we're hoping in June here to test out in a couple markets, potentially offering small networking happy hours at a local bar or restaurant, since some of those are beginning to open. And then the goal is to regroup and see how that goes, and then continue to slowly add back in a prudent way, knowing that especially this demographic of 20 and 30-year-olds, they're going to be really itching to get back together. But we want to do it all in a safe way, and of course, aligning with the guidelines from the CDC and any county or state level guidelines as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, since you two are both on phone and you're not together and I'm here in the studio, we'll just kind of try to have a conversation here, and I'll ask some questions, but either one of you just feel free to jump in whenever you want, and we'll see if we can do the best with this. But I did want to ask Peter de Tremp, our guest, to tell us a little bit more about yourself, Peter, and particularly a little bit more about your professional background in marketing and how it came for you to be involved with YCP yourself, so much so as to join the National Board of Directors. Can you do that, Peter de Tremp?
Yes, would love to. My wife and I, Rose Marie, have been married for 33 years. She is a graduate of St. Monica's here in town, and then Ursuline Academy. We met at SMU, and we've lived throughout all of Texas, and I mean all of Texas. We've done what somebody recently referred to as the Texas Dash, which is Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. We knew eventually our path would lead back to Dallas, and we were very thankful that it did 4 or 5 years ago. Professionally, I've been a marketing executive, and I've had an opportunity to lead organizations, both small and large, and domestic and national. I fell in love with marketing when I got involved because of the fact that it's so engaging, and it's really everything that stands between a business or a brand and their customer. So I was attracted to marketing at an early age, and I've been very fortunate to work with some outstanding teams throughout my career. Last March, I was attending the Catholic Foundation dinner with my wife, and we just happened to be seated next to Dwight Risky and his wife, Cynthia. Dwight is the former senior vice president of PepsiCo and headed the marketing team. So we like to think it was faith and fate that brought us together that night. We got to know each other, and when I started to look at a little bit more into Dwight's background, we made a promise to one another that we would be going out socially and getting to know, as couples, we'd get to spend some time together. And I saw that he was on the board of YCP. And I remember the day that I found that and discovered that, I yelled across the house to Rose to say, come here and look at this organization. We have 3 children, young adult children, aged 29, 27, and 24, who are perfectly in this sweet spot for YCP. And so later, shortly thereafter, I had a chance to get to know Jennifer Baugh and Peter Blut, and we were aligned in our goals and our vision, and I was very thankful that they asked me to join the national board last July.
Very nice. And Peter D., you had mentioned in an email to me that you and Peter B. have similar backgrounds. And Peter Blut, I wanted to ask you, I guess you have a background in marketing also, and just to also explain how you have been able to utilize that with YCP, because I will say the explosive growth of YCP, obviously Jen hit on something very important because it's a very, very critical time in a person's life where they got to be tapped in, but you all have just been phenomenally successful in marketing yourself and growing new chapters. And is that a little bit of your specialty as well, Peter Blut?
Yeah, I have a real love of I'd say marketing, but I think even more generally just kind of people and what motivates people, what causes people to get really excited about something or to turn away from something, and so that fits pretty well in the marketing world. Before I worked here at YCP, I was working at a business-to-business marketing company here in North Texas. And so that's where I really kind of got my feet wet, everything from website design to lead generation to kind of understanding profiles and demographics and personas, who your audience is, and then how to motivate them and address a need or a number of needs that they have through a product that you have. So it's been a cool experience, and to bring a lot of that to YCP and then be able to apply it here. It's interesting because if we think about our Catholic faith and our the YCP mission that we have, helping young professionals work and witness for Christ, the work of evangelization is in many ways a marketing effort. It's an effort to present the faith in a really compelling way, in an exciting way, in a way that really draws people in, and helps them, of course, cultivate this interior life and this Catholic community around them. So that's a lot of what YCP was founded upon, is that concept of YCP is really a kind of a marketing organization that's seeking to share the faith with as many young people as possible.
Yes, and Peter DeTramp, things are changing at such a lightning speed these days. And you said that you've been you're doing this for decades, I believe. How has marketing and strategies of marketing changed over the decades? And what advice do you have in today with social media and so many different platforms through which one can market themselves or their company?
The basis of marketing hasn't changed that much, and I think that's why Peter Blewett and I are kindred spirits. It's still about the ability to reach and inspire some action or influence some action. What's really changed is the mechanisms that we use or the channels that we use to reach an audience. Marketing historically was much more considered an art form. The content, the creative, the slogans, the mottos, things like that were very much in the forefront of marketing. And today, marketing is as much a science as it is an art form. So marketing the science means understanding insights into your audience and being able to apply those insights in a really relevant manner across multiple channels to meet consumers or to engage with your audience where they are most comfortable, whether that's through face-to-face or it's through...
Is that kind of what you guys were going for?
Yeah, we were going for just like his merciful heart and just the intimacy that he wants to bring.
Well, how do you guys divide up the labor of this? Do you write the words together and the music separately, or do you split them up? One of you take one of you take the other?
Yeah, it's definitely a different process than most people write songs, I've realized, and that we've kind of come to know. But with this song, it kind of came more like just kind of flowed like naturally. We both were sitting at a piano, and just kind of the words kind of came. We got from, we wanted to kind of portray like the father singing to his child.
So so the lyrics are coming from God's perspective.
Yeah.
Do you feel any kind of apprehension and when doing that, you're putting words in God's mouth? Is that like something scary, or does it come real natural for you?
It's something that comes a bit more natural, I think, to both of us. It's something that just kind of flows from our personal prayer. So just being able to, in our personal times with the Lord, just being able to ask him questions and allowing him to respond. And so it's just kind of taking that and putting it to music. Yeah.
Okay. Is the whole song from God's perspective, or does it alternate?
That entire song is from God's perspective. Yeah.
And is this song part of that series that you were talking about with the prodigal son?
No. So it's a kind of like a single. So the EP is kind of a separate thing.
Gotcha, but this fits that same mold. Because if the theme of it is God's love for humans, God's love for His people, and the peace and the love that He wants to give to them for free, of course. Then that's exactly what the parable of the prodigal son is all about. It's really about the father. Going out to meet the son who's disrespected him and really offended him in horrific ways, but that's still unconditional love of the father. It fits really well. Is most of your music in that mode?
It's not all of it, but we like to really bring the father's voice to people, like what he wants to say to his children. A lot of times it's us, kind of going to the father as well. So it just depends on the song, I think. It's
really a pleasant song to listen to. Will, when you're listening to demos that bands send in to you, what are you listening for? How do you make a choice as to whether to bring them into your roster or not?
Yeah, it's a few things, because I can't really judge the demo by its cover, just because some people might only have their cell phone and their voice memos and their guitar to portray a song, and some people have a whole, home studio that they can kind of make the track a little bit more produced. But I think a lot of what's important to me, what's important to Novum Records, is who we're working with. So, of course, there is an aspect of excellence and quality and, people who are making art that is, I guess, good. And I feel weird saying that, because I would say all art is good, but But for us, there's a little bit of that. But I wouldn't say the weight is in that, because we do have a team of songwriters, including Mark and Lily are excellent songwriters. We've done a few co-writes, and they're fabulous. So for us, it's if people need work on songs, that's really not an issue with us. It really does come down to like kind of who they are, where their heart is, what their ministry is. And as well as their goals. I don't want to get somebody who just wants to, or I don't want to sign somebody who doesn't want to take music seriously. I will work with them. I will help them. I will give them any resource they need. But in terms of committing to, hey, we're going to invest in your music, there's a few things on our quote unquote scorecard we look for, but it's a really holistic thing. I wouldn't say the demo is the important thing. Or the most important thing.
It's a hard thing, Mark and Lily, I guess, to balance making music and then making music that you already have, and then working on funding future projects. Like it's got to be difficult to try and balance that. Well, where are you at in the process right now of getting this next EP done?
Yeah, so we are still in the fundraising portion right now. We're going to be heading down to Texas, actually, to go and record the project in a couple weeks. So that's pretty exciting.
Are you coming to Dallas or Houston, or where is that?
Well, it's Sugarland, I believe.
Or Corpus Christi.
No, it's
Wait, Corpus Christi? Oh, that's not Sugarland. I was getting excited because I live in Sugarland. Well, Corpus Christi is still nice, even though they don't have a GRN station, but that's okay.
Maybe one day. Yeah, it's a small city outside of Corpus called Skidmore. The co-owner of Novum Records, his name is Mason, and he owns a studio. He's probably putting in the flooring as we speak. He just built a brand new 3,000 square foot studio on a few acres of land. So it's a beautiful getaway. And actually it's next week. I'm picking them up from the airport this Sunday. So.
Now, would you normally do a tour to kind of support this kind of release?
Well, these guys. Oh, sorry, Mark.
Oh, sorry. You go, Will.
Oh, I was just gonna say they. Normally we would try to get something going, but with COVID, that'd be tough. But also, I didn't mean to speak for you guys, but since they're with their ministry, that basically is a touring ministry. So there would be a lot of sharing that.
That makes a lot of sense. So Mark and Lily, as working musicians with a ministry, what is it like right now? What have you guys been feeling with the lockdown and so many events being canceled?
Yeah, it's definitely a different change. And we're just excited for the good that God is bringing out of it. We had to, cancel a lot of events that we were planning to go to for these last couple months with the ministry. But we're trying to make the most of it, and the ministry is doing a lot of virtual events coming up, and so really pressing into, the Zoom meetings and things like that as of now. So
it's one of those things, just like everybody else, you're able to adapt to the situation, even as musicians. I guess, tell me a little more about the JP2 Healing Center. I'm not familiar with them. You said they're based out of Tallahassee. What is their mission?
Yeah, it's a really beautiful mission that we're blessed to be a part of. Their mission is really to bring transformation to the heart of the church. So a lot of their events have to do with, like Mark was saying earlier, inner healing, just healing ministry, training, equipping the people of God, just to be who they're called to be, and to really bring that transformation. We do a lot of priest events. And
you mean for priests?
Whole month of Yes. So JP2 Healing Center has a big priest event they do every year in June. So it's the whole month of June they have a small group of priests come down to Tallahassee for that. This year I'm not sure how that's really going to work, so they're doing more online stuff with the priests.
Well, that's something that's very important. I read an article just this morning about how priests are maybe feeling a lot of extra stress and feeling a lack of mission if they're cut off from their flocks. And so healing ministries like especially inner healing ministries like JP2 Healing Center, it sounds like you're doing a lot of good work helping priests. And the music that you've shared with us is really fitting into that healing ministry kind of vibe. I'm really digging that.
Thank you.
So if people want to learn more about Simple Offering, maybe hear some more of your music, where should they go?
Yeah, so if they want to check us out online, we have a website. It's just simpleoffering.com. And if you want to check out more about the project we're fundraising for, Prodigal, just go to simpleoffering.com/donate.
Okay, gotcha. Prodigal. We need to support Catholic artists more. I've been trying to do that here in Houston, supporting artists local to here, but also, getting connected through Will to you guys. Will, thank you very much for setting this up. I've had a lot of fun with this, and I'm tickled to see what you guys are doing with it. Where can people learn more about Novum Records?
Yeah, so novumrecords.com. You can see a list of our artist roster. You can see all of our releases. We have a store with different products from different artists. And actually right now, for the next week, we'll have 20% off any order if you use coupon code GRN.
Oh, neat. I didn't even know about that. You just came up with that. Yeah, that's great.
I
cool.
did. Yeah, we just set that up. So, yeah, anyone listening, please, support Catholic artists and get 20% off your entire order.
That's great. Well, Will Hickel from Novum Records, Lily Lalonde, and Mark McKellar from Simple Offering, thank you very much for joining us on the Catholic Lunch Break in Houston. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you.
And listeners, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you take a break out of your day and just enjoy the peace and joy of the Lord, even in the midst of troubled times. The Share-a-thon starts tomorrow, goes through Friday. Your radio station, your radio network needs your support because we are 100% brought to you by you. God is the one that brings the fruit, but we are the ones that work and plant and water. And so we ask that you would be part of it. Please pray for us and listen to the Share-a-thon. Tell a friend about it too. It's 7 a.m. tomorrow to 7 p.m. on Friday, and you can be part of this ministry. Please keep listening. My name is Tim Mott. You've been listening to the Catholic Lunch Break. I want to thank David Magianis for running the board and Joel Matthews for running our videos on facebook.com/GRN online. Stay tuned right now for Dr. David Anders with Call to Communion. Great program that's going to answer the toughest questions that you have about the faith and maybe some that you didn't have when other people call in. So go, and may God go with you. We'll catch up again next Monday on the Catholic Lunch Break.